Palantir just posted on X their major contributions to Ukraine as of now, and it's not the typical war news actually that we always hear about. This has been in the works and have gotten sneak previews before actually from previous PRs, but Ukraine is proud to announce how alongside Palantir, they've built out a comprehensive program around their education system when dealing with the war. It was actually posted a month ago, but seems not much people have viewed it, so Palantir's X account giving it a boost. They've gotten 1 million Ukrainian children to study remotely now. And yes, war has horrible direct consequences, especially on the side where the fighting is taking place. But these other things compound to put civilians, especially vulnerable populations, behind, which can affect them over the rest of their lives. And it's these consequences of education disruption that they want to address as soon as possible. And that's to help the children still have an opportunity to socialize, communicate with friends, as well as develop leadership skills for the future. Now, the school offline strategy is what they call it, and the familiar face of Mykola Fedorov, who's the Minister of Digital Transformation, is put in a situation where they ultimately still want to go back to face-to-face learning, while also still improving the quality of the online education in the meantime. Now, the stats they give out is 600,000 kids are studying online in Ukraine, while another 400,000 are abroad. And it's well known refugees from Ukraine have been sent all over Europe, so their task at hand is really to get 300,000 kids back to full-time education, but they have to ensure the conditions are safe to do so and how they plan to roll this out. Building shelters, buying buses, provide teachers and children with gadgets, you get it. Basically, there's a lot of things to plan ahead for this. And we get a sneak preview actually of Palantir's contributions, where we know they're dealing with large amounts of data to make it actionable in a timely manner. And a use case is to find out how many Ukrainian schools have been destroyed in the war, where they've taken place, of course, and what will be needed to restore those, as well as the number of areas with mines and the ETA for demining it. So logistically, this is huge because it will determine prioritization as well as resource allocation. If an area isn't going to be suitable for a while, you can probably focus somewhere else and maybe ramp up and have a methodical approach. Efficiency is key when resources are tight. And then they also close out with some quotes, but the program has made some big progress. Now, the no-brainer good thing about this is that this use case literally can be applied anywhere. Natural disasters, for example, or just developing a new area where it's fresh, even if the stakes are lower. Palantir is able to bring value to any governing body at a countrywide or territorial or even just a town level with this application that they're doing. And if you think about this, this has been done many times before in industry, where Palantir is helping out in supply chain planning, for example, and dealing with disruptions. So in reality, it's just business as usual. So they're not necessarily doing groundbreaking stuff, but applying it to an extreme situation and for a country that really needs this. And it's, of course, a more emotional hitting population. So maybe that was the point of this article, not necessarily to show off the technology, but rather the use cases and the effects it can bring to the people. Because technology-wise, we know Palantir has done this many times before. But we also know these stakes are much higher here for the children in this case, especially for their long-time future, who would have to deal with this going back to school. But then the government wants to be able to ensure it's as safe as possible and can, especially in Eastern fronts, where the fighting and war devices were deployed, be safe because, our parents going to be comfortable with sending their kids back. Long term, Palantir continues to demonstrate value to the Ukrainian government, and no doubt, no matter how the war ends, as long as there's a Ukrainian state in the end, most likely Palantir will be assisting in the reconstruction aspects that include bringing back schools more fully, jobs, reconstruction in general, all the things with rebuilding after a war, and I'm assuming the cost with it. And we know money-wise, I'm not expecting anything really for a long time. Once the dust has settled, though, after the conflict, I'm sure that's when the money conversation will be more heavily talked about, and maybe we'll get some sneak peeks of figures over time, which I'm anticipating, but definitely not in the near future. So it's great to see the progress here, but what are your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next video.